Hello everyone, my name is Tim Ebner. I'm content editor for Government Executive Media Group. I'm joined here today by Senator Evan Bayh, co-chair of Nuclear Matters. We're here today to talk about an important issue of nuclear energy and our nation's future. First, Senator, tell us a little bit about the work that you're involved with.
Tim, thank you. Nuclear Matters was formed to begin to give the public information about the role that nuclear power plays in our country, because most people, when you talk to them about this, really just have no idea. That it's 20% of all the electricity generated in the country, and significantly 62% of the zero carbon electricity generated in the country. So it really is playing a major role in trying to address the phenomena of global warming. But people just don't understand that. And plus the tens of thousands of good paying jobs and everything else that nuclear brings to the table. So Judd Gregg, the former governor and senator from New Hampshire, is my co-chairman, Democrat, and he's a Republican. And we formed a council, again, almost equally divided between Democrats and Republicans. We have representatives of the business community. We have representatives of the labor movement. We have environmentalists like Carol Browner, former head of the EPA. Spence Abrahams on the committee, former head of the Department of Energy and senator from Michigan, Republican. So it really is diverse because we wanted it to be objective and fair in terms of how we were going about presenting the case to the American people, saying, here are the facts, and you make up your minds about the important role nuclear can play going forward.
So where do most states stand currently with nuclear energy?
Well, the country's a little divided. Not every state has nuclear power plants. And then those who do sometimes are divided in between regulated states and unregulated states. So it varies from, short answer is, Tim, it varies from state to state. And those that have nuclear power, it plays a very significant role in making sure that the lights stay on and people can rely upon a stable, affordable source of energy. And it also is going to play a very substantial role going forward in helping those states meet their lower carbon emissions targets to help deal with global warming.
Let's talk about that carbon issue a little bit here. We have sort of a framework by the Obama administration, a carbon plan. What are states doing kind of individually and sort of at a national level?
Well, they're in the process of deciding what to do now. And they're going to be deciding over the next few months. They can either go it alone as individual states, or in the case of some areas, New England may be an example, they'll come together in a multi-state compact and try and deal with it together. And they're expected to reduce their benchmark levels of carbon emissions over the next several years. And it's really up to the states to decide how best to get there in a way that meets the target, but is consistent with dependable power and affordable power. And so that's why this topic is so timely.
Finally, our nation's energy future. Do you have hope that it's improving, that it's going in the right direction?
Yeah, I do, but again, it tends to be sort of out of sight, out of mind. It's so fundamentally important to everything we do. Consumers, heating their homes, lighting their homes, businesses. What business could operate without energy? So it's vitally important to our standard of living, our way of life, and yet we don't tend to think about it until there's a problem with the power grid and people's lights are going off, or the weather gets really cold and there's a rolling brownout. And so if we're going to have the future be all that it should be, economically, from a standard of living standpoint, and from an environmental standpoint of getting carbon emissions down, nuclear really needs to be a part of that mix. It's not going to be 100%. But its current level of 20% of the energy, thereabouts, we need to keep that for the sake of the country.
I want to thank Senator Bayh again for his time, and also a special thanks to Nuclear Matters for highlighting this important issue. Senator, thank you so much.
Tim, real pleasure.